Glad to have you on the Rosewood Wealth Management YouTube channel. We got a good question coming up today we want to answer about alimony payments and how do you invest that money once you've become used to a lifestyle without those. Got a good question coming for you again. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'd appreciate your support there. I'm Ben George. He's John Stillman. He is, of course, a chartered retirement planning counselor at Rosewood Wealth. John, got a good question for you today. How are you?
Doing great. Let's have it. What do you have?
All right, so Dorothy says, my ex-husband has been out of work for the past 2 years, so I haven't been getting the $2,000 a month in alimony that I was supposed to get during that period. He now has a new job, which is good, and the alimony will be starting back soon, but I learned to adjust my lifestyle so that now I'm comfortable living without any money from him. What would be a wise way to invest this money instead of spending on stuff that I've learned that I can actually live without? It's a great question, and you don't usually probably see that. People getting used to a lifestyle and managing that budget.
Well, so this question is no different at all than somebody saying, hey, I just got a new job or I got a raise and I'm going to make $25,000 more a year than I have previously made. I mean, that's exactly what's happening with Dorothy here. It's just that she was used to the higher income. She had to get used to a lower income, but now the income's going up and it's the equivalent of getting a raise. So forget the alimony part of it and think of it just in terms of what do I do when my income goes up? And the answer for most people is not going to be save all of it, save all of the difference. The answer is also not going to be, well, I'll just increase my lifestyle by that much either. Now, there's this thing called lifestyle creep that we talk about sometimes, which is where your lifestyle creeps up as your income creeps up. So if you don't ever get big increases in income and your income just kind of incrementally increases a little bit each year, you get to the point where you don't notice those changes and your lifestyle always just keeps adjusting up to that new income. But if you get a big jump in income at once, then it's easier to notice that change in income and not let your lifestyle adjust all the way up to that new number. So in Dorothy's case, or in the case of anybody whose income is going up, what you want to think about is how much do I need to use this money to account for a potential future downturn in income again. Like in Dorothy's case here, she's saying, I used to get this income, then it went away. I got used to it being gone. Now it's back. Well, maybe in Dorothy's case, we need to be putting some money away in the event that the income does go away again in the future. Like next time he's out of work and isn't paying his alimony, maybe she doesn't want to have to adjust her lifestyle back down at that point. So maybe we need to put some money away for that particular contingency. That would be one thing to think about because we have this history of knowing the income can go away. It's done it before, so maybe we should plan for that. The way that I usually guide people on this, anytime they have a big increase in income, and it's more often than not because they moved to a new job, right? You don't usually get a raise that substantial at your same job. Although I've seen it. I had a client one time who got a raise from $200,000 to $300,000 a year. Jumped $100,000 in 1 year, 50% increase in his salary. So obviously that happens, but pretty rarely. The way I always guide people is let's think of the incremental increase and kind of put it in buckets. So let's maybe increase your lifestyle by, pick a number, 10% a year. So if we get a $25,000 raise, maybe we want to spend $2,500 more per year on vacations, or you're finally going to get the golf membership at the golf club that you wanted to go to, or whatever it is. Let's pick a percentage and let's only let your lifestyle increase by that much. Let's maybe increase cash in the bank every month by a certain percentage. We don't want to do that forever and just end up with $200,000 just sitting in the bank, but maybe we want to increase our cash a little bit for larger expenses here and there. Maybe we want to invest some. Maybe we want to put more into retirement because we want to decrease our taxable income. There's a lot of different options, different ways you can go with it. And the answer for most people is we want to do a little bit of all of that. It's not just, all right, well, my income went up $25,000 this year, so I'm going to put that much additional into retirement. No. You want to enjoy that new income a little bit because you want to keep yourself motivated, quite frankly, to keep increasing your income in the future. So usually the answer is let's going to do a little bit of a lot of different things with that money.
I know that the lifestyle creep is an issue, which you mentioned, and I think we're all human. We're gonna tap into some of that money no matter what, right? Even if we know, all right, I can live without it. I've been doing it for some time, but I guess, do you find that people are more successful if they're able to say, hey, 10 or 15% of that money, sure, go ahead and spend that. The rest can go into wherever else it needs to go. But just having that ability to spend some of it, knowing that you can increase your lifestyle a little bit, helps you save that a little bit more diligently and stay on track each and every month.
Yeah. Well, there are certain people who, whatever they have available to spend every month, they are going to find a way to spend. And if you took that money away and said, all right, well, now you don't have this money anymore, like Dorothy, it sounds like maybe is this type of person. If the money suddenly just isn't there, they say, all right, I adjust, no big deal. And it's not like they feel robbed or like their lifestyle has taken a blow. They just say, all right, well, I spent less, so be it. But when the money's there, they're going to spend it. So for people like that, we want to start with, all right, well, first we're going to save this much. And then whatever's left, if you want to spend it, so be it. That's how some people operate. And if that's your personality, let's just make sure that we're putting enough away first, and then whatever's left in checking account. If you spend all of it every month, no big deal. It's getting replenished the next month. For other people, they would rather limit their spending and say, all right, well, I'm going to only increase my spending by $500 a month, and the rest I'm going to save. And if I can increase my spending by even less than that in a particular month, well, then I'll save more. You have to know which personality is yours, and we have to figure that out to know what kind of plan is going to work for you.
All right, good question. Well, if you find yourself with a sudden influx in cash or an increase in income in whatever capacity that might be, whether it be a job raise or it might be alimony, it could be whatever. But whatever that is, you need to have a plan for it. And again, if you want to sit down with John at Rosewood Wealth, talk to him more about that, you can always go to meetwithjohn.com, find a time on a schedule, meetwithjohn.com. Please like and subscribe to the video. If you found this helpful at all, please share the word and pass it on to family and friend to help them be more prepared for their financial future. John, thanks for the time as always. Talk to you soon.
Always good to see you.
Carolina Wealth Stewards doing business as Rosewood Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor in the state of North Carolina. The material presented is intended to be general information and should not be construed by any consumer as the rendering of personalized investment advice.